The shelves are stripped. The canned goods aisle is a graveyard of dented tins. Nobody wanted. The cash register is silent, and the pimply kid who ran it is gone. Money is now a filthy paper rectangle that wipes nothing and feeds no one. You watch a grown man trade a silver coin for a single warm bottle of water and realize the entire barter fantasy was a lie peddled by people selling precious metals. Real wealth doesn't clink, it flicks. It clicks. It dissolves in a cold cup and stops a screaming headache in the dark. Walmart is not a superstore anymore. It is a vault of future currency, disguised as cheap household trash. Subscribe so you never miss this. Stay for number 6, the $3 item that will buy you safe passage when the barter table turns hostile and the guns come out. Item 1. Disposable Bic lighters. Go to the tobacco checkout lane. Not the camping aisle with the waterproof ferro rods and the magnesium scrapers. The plastic rack behind the register. Grab a 5-pack of classic Bic lighters. The translucent ones where you can see the fuel level. $3, maybe $4, in your hand. Right now is 1,000 guaranteed fires. Each lighter is good for approximately 3,000 strikes before the flint wears down. When the grid collapses and every matchbook is soaked through and every fancy solar arc lighter is dead with a fried circuit board, the person holding a Bic controls the heat, the light, and the cooked meal. Smokers will trade their last battery for it. The freezing will trade ammunition. A mother trying to heat a can of soup over a trash can fire will hand you her wedding ring. Most people walk past the rack and buy a $15 ferro rod they never practiced with. You will stockpile cheap plastic fire starters that work right out of the package, require zero skill, and fit in a pocket. Flame is primal wealth. The Bic is a disposable key to the kingdom. Item 2. Generic AA and AAA batteries. Walk to the electronics aisle. Find the generic house brand bricks. 40 packs of AA, 30 packs of AAA. The ones that cost less than a fast food meal. Every flashlight, every portable radio, every child's noise-making toy that still calms them in the dark, every thermometer, every motion sensor alarm you rigged to a door runs on these little aluminum cylinders. The first week of a blackout, batteries disappear faster than food. Most people have one flashlight and no spares. When the light flickers and dies on night 3, they will trade a can of fuel, a box of ammo, or a bottle of liquor for 4 fresh AAs. You buy a brick now for $8. In a barter economy, that brick is fractional currency. You can trade single batteries. 2 AAs for a can of food, 4 for a gallon of water. Most people are stacking gold coins that nobody can break into change. You are stacking portable, recognizable energy that requires no explanation and no trust. Alkaline batteries hold their charge for years. They don't leak if stored cool and dry. The generic brand works exactly like the premium one. This is not a battery purchase. This is minting your own trade tokens. Item 3. Pop-top canned pasta and canned meat. Aisle 7. The canned goods section. Ignore the raw dry beans that require an hour of fuel and 3 pots of water. Go straight for the shelf-stable. Pop-top meals. Chef Boyardee ravioli, SpaghettiOs, canned chicken breast with the peel-back lid, Vienna sausages in tiny blue tins, corned beef hash that smells like a diner. These cans have one feature that makes them barter gold. They require no can opener, no heat, no water, no preparation of any kind. A child can open them with their thumbnail and eat cold calories straight from the tin while the world burns outside. In a collapse, convenience is not laziness. It is survival for the exhausted, the injured, and the terrified. Most people will stockpile dry pasta and freeze-dried meals that require boiling water and a clean pot and a functional stove. When you pull out a pop-top can of ravioli and hand it to a hungry family with no kitchen, you are not giving them food. You are giving them immediate, hotless, foolproof relief. The cans cost $2 each. Stack them deep. They never expire. They are the ultimate low-skill barter currency for the hungry. Item 4. Generic ibuprofen and acetaminophen. Walk to the pharmacy aisle. Ignore the name brands with the glossy boxes and the markup. Go for the store brand bottles. Generic ibuprofen. Generic acetaminophen, 200 count per bottle, under $3 each. This is not a painkiller purchase. This is an investment in the most overlooked scarcity of a grid-down world. Pain relief when the power is out, and the stress is crushing, and the manual labor never stops. A headache is not a minor annoyance. It is a crippling event. A sprained wrist hauling water is a catastrophe. A child's fever in the dark, with no doctor available, is a parent's worst nightmare. Most people stockpile bandages and tourniquets, but have zero anti-inflammatory medication. When their back seizes up, or their tooth abscesses, they will trade anything for a handful of pills that stop the screaming inside their skull. One tablet of ibuprofen is not a drug. It is a functional human being for 6 hours. You buy the bottles now for pocket change. In a barter market, a 10-pill envelope of pain relief is worth more than a silver dime. Pain does not wait. Pain does not negotiate. The person holding the pills sets the price. Item 5. Triple antibiotic ointment tubes. Aisle 12. First aid section. Grab a handful of generic triple antibiotic ointment tubes. The active ingredients are identical to the premium brand. Bacitracin, neomycin, polymyxin, B3 antibiotics in a greasy base. Each tube costs less than $1 and seals at the cap. A minor cut in a functioning world is a wash and a bandage. In a collapse where sanitation has collapsed and every surface is filthy, that same cut is an infection vector that can turn septic in 48 hours. The tube of ointment you hand a desperate parent whose child scraped their knee on rusty metal is not a first aid item. It is a limb saver. It is a lifesaver. Most people will stock guns and ammo for barter and have no medical consumables. When the infection takes hold and the red streak crawls up the arm toward the heart, a $1 tube of ointment is worth more than a rifle. You buy 8 tubes for $10. Each one is a sealed, sterile, portable medical intervention that requires no training to apply. In the barter economy, medicine is not a luxury. It is the hard stop between a small wound and a slow, hot, septic death. Stack it deep. Item 6. Instant coffee crystals and powdered caffeine mix. Aisle 9. The coffee section. The whole beans and the fancy pour-over kits are useless paperweights now. You are here for the large plastic tubs of instant coffee crystals and the boxes of powdered energy drink sticks stashed on the bottom shelf. Caffeine is not a luxury. It is a chemical dependency shared by over 80% of the adult population. When the grid goes down and the coffee supply evaporates, that dependency becomes an acute medical crisis. Caffeine withdrawal arrives in 24 hours. Throbbing headache, nausea, brain fog, irritability that destroys group cohesion. The person shaking and vomiting in the dark cannot stand watch. They cannot negotiate. They cannot protect their family. A single sealed tub of instant coffee crystals costs under $8 for a 200-cup yield. That tub in a collapse is not a beverage. It is a withdrawal cure. It is a morale anchor. It is morning ritual in a world stripped of normalcy. Most people will stack bullets and beans and forget the one drug their neighbors are physically addicted to. When you pour a steaming cup of instant coffee and hand it to a desperate, withdrawing stranger, the cost to you was pennies. The return is safe passage, critical information, or a trade that no other item on this list could command. The person holding the coffee holds the psychological keys to a neighborhood. Stack it, seal it, trade it one cup at a time. Here is the reality that the precious metals dealer will never whisper into your ear. When the trucks stop, and the shelves are empty, and the grid is a cold, silent corpse, money is not a coin. Money is a flame. Money is a pill that stops a fever. Money is a warm can of pasta, opened with a thumbnail in the dark. Money is the cup of instant coffee you hand to a shaking neighbor who suddenly becomes your ally. The Walmart aisles are not a store anymore. They are a staging ground for the barter economy that will rule your block when the dollar is a joke. You buy these 6 items now for pennies. You stack them deep in a cool, dry place. You watch your neighbors walk past the lighter rack and the generic painkiller shelf, and you say nothing. You are not hoarding. You are minting wealth in a currency that everyone will need, and no one thought to print. Now drop a comment and tell me this. Which of these 6 items are you walking into Walmart for tonight? And how many do you already have, sitting in a drawer somewhere, forgotten? While you are scrolling for a tactical knife, you will never trade. I want you to go look. Then come back and write the number. And in the next video, we are leaving the store behind and walking straight into the danger of the trade itself. The silent barter trap. How to trade these exact items without becoming a target, getting followed home, or revealing your stash to the wrong eyes. I'll see you there.